All right, an effective lesson plan will contain assessments, of course. And this is where wait time and questions come in. We've talked about this in previous modules, of course, because this is the accumulation module, right? When you're doing your work, start by asking yourself evaluative questions. Start with the knowledge and comprehension level as a warm-up to build confidence. And remember, the last thing you want to do or achieve is to make someone feel humiliated. So let's not forget that wait time is especially important with those remyelating brains. We've talked about that in our brain activation module, where from certain ages, kids' brains are remyelating, actually all the way up to adult brains. The 25-year-old brain and so on is remyelating, and it's reconnecting things. So it's going to require some time. Your objective here is not necessarily for right or wrong responses, but to get your kids thinking about possible outcomes and justifying his answers. In other words, it's not all for just the grade. There are two places to use assessment. We can use it before the lesson or at the end of the lesson. So why would we assess before the lesson? I mean, we haven't really taught everything, have we? No, we haven't, but we have taught the previous day lessons. And so a good strategy here would be before the student's allowed to enter the classroom or when they're having breakfast with dad, they have to answer something from the previous day's lessons. Why is that? Well, the habit of questioning like this will keep cramming at bay. Cramming is a no-go. Do you remember anything that you crammed for in your educational experiences? I certainly don't. This strategy is going to exhibit that need to remember and recall more frequently, not just in our classroom lesson time. All right, why do we assess at the end of the lesson? This kind of seems obvious, but let's go over it. So I love this old saying. It's an old salesman kind of quote. Tell them what you tell them what you told them, and then tell them again. That's what questions at the end of the assessment are going to be. One of the strategies that I used to use, and I still do with the kids actually, is before they can leave, they have to tell me something that they learned. Again, my goal isn't necessarily for grades, it's just to keep that knowledge at the forefront of their brain, keep them thinking on it, because we're layering a cake, right? Here I like to, again, start with knowledge comprehension level as a warm-up to build confidence. This is how we teach learners to build a process of information through our cognitive skills. And those first two rungs are really important just as to pepper questions in.